All right, how are we doing today? Hope everyone is well. What's new and exciting? Lance first in. How are you doing? And followed by Sienna. Did I mention I gotta get the bot that start keeping track of this? Oh, look at that. I swear I should wait until the first spam bot shows up at Kick before.
Sienna said, getting ready for a birthday. How's everyone?
You're getting ready for a birthday.
Lance said, doing well. Thanks.
Whose birthday
Got
is
to get set up to kick the kickbots, tongue sticking out.
Yeah, that would probably be useful there, Lance. Let's
Sienna
run
said,
this.
a fiend of us.
A friend of yours? All right, got it.
Friend.
I mean, you got to make sure to celebrate the birthdays of your fiends. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good thing we aren't we aren't busy today. I'm not doing.
Won't be there for Onyx,
yeah,
unfortunately.
We're not doing Onyx.
That.
'Cause I was pretty sure you weren't available. I don't think Condev's available. No sign of Fizz, and frankly, he should be taking
Lance
care
said,
of
doing well. Sienna,
home stuff, I think.
whose birthday? Ah. Happy birthday, Sienna's fiendish friend.
Fiendish, fiendish friend. Yes. Yeah, I figured we wouldn't do Onyx tonight. I figure I'm going to go down to the show floor. It is Aegis Day. I'll probably rent the well, all the Aegis ships, but and I missed Crusader yesterday, I think, maybe. Anyway, we'll rent a few ships.
Sienna said, I'll be around tomorrow for it though.
Yeah, I think we will look at doing Onyx tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be best in show. So I'll start the stream by going in and taking a look at the show floor to see if they've switched it
I got
up.
my new beast installed on the PC. New CPU and AIO.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of it. You should stick that stuff in like the memorabilia channel or something, or the pub. I don't know. Don't have to send it to just me. Share it with the rest of the community. What the hell's the Discord for anyway? So yeah, tomorrow.
Lol, I don't need to brag about LOL.
The dude, you're bragging about it right now.
Just sharing with executive friends, rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, you don't need to give people something to aspire to. Anyway, yeah, like I
Ha
said,
ha 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 ha.
tomorrow will be the best in show start, so it'll be interesting to see what the war bonds are. I would expect at least one, if not maybe. I don't know if they're going to do war bonds for all the semifinalists, but there will be the new best in show paints packaged with whatever pledges are available for those 4 ships. So I'm kind of hoping that they're running a war bond AIE insurance CCU option for those 4. They're at like to say relatively decent price points, although I think the Gladiator might step on the SRV war bond from earlier this week at any rate. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you want to have if you're getting the paints for free, you need to have them by the end of the. So if you pledge for the bundles that are available tomorrow, the paints will be with those bundles. If you want them for free, then you have to have the ship already or in your hangar and available by the end of the expo. So when things kick over on December 3rd, it'll be like 8 in the morning for me, and the show ends, that's when they say, okay, you have an Asgard, you get a paint. You have an Zeus ES only, you get a paint. Gladiator, you get a paint. Polaris, get a paint and a pennant. So, because Polaris was the full-blown winner this year, with the other three being the runners-up. But that's a tomorrow problem. Today I figured it is Aegis Day, so we'll go down to the show floor, run a bunch of Aegis ships. I want to take out the Gladius to see how it's still performing in terms of combat. More to get a measurement against some of the others that we may retest during the... I tried to take out the Paladin. Nobody showed up to fight me. The Alpha Wolf was a little more successful, but it is a zippy little ship, actually. I probably should do some voiceover work there and throw that up on a video or something for a first look at the Wolf. And the sound design on everything released on this was amazing. There's a bunch of information released on the talking ships thing. I mean, I don't know if it would be... I mean, it might be pointless at this point. Everyone's done their reactions, but whether or not it'd be worth going through and doing a commentary on the talking ships part. I don't know. Let me know if anyone cares. Oops.
Lance said, I say do it anyways.
Yeah, well, Lance, you say a lot of things. But yeah, Aegis Day down at the show, so we will go in and take a look. If the Javelin tour is available, we might go do a quick view on that. Because one of the other things I want to do is rent the Hammerhead and do a wander around on that. Because I want to do a A/B comparison between the Aegis layout on one of the older subcap ships that we got. To compare to the Perseus and the Polaris loadouts that we've seen. As well as the Idris, I guess, since it's in the same category as well. Same manufacturer, anyway. Warbond today for until next 12 hours or so. Yeah. The daily Warbond deal is the Eclipse. So if you get that, come on. So what is it? $25 off. This is... I love this Warbond. Apparently it comes around actually quite often. But I didn't get enough of them last time. So I had to get I had to get a bunch more today. And the glorious thing is it ties in beautifully with the 260 price point. It's about $15 to get down to the Warden, the Triage, the Mercury, the Guardian QI, or the Meteor. The Meteor had war bonds earlier this week. I'm rolling the dice that it might be one of the repeat war bonds that they do during the finale. And if not, hopefully we will see it again relatively soon. The other better, or the other decent bet is the MSR. It goes on war bond relatively frequently as well. So are a bunch of my other chains that don't involve the Eclipse are set up. There's other LTIs for it. They're all waiting on the Mercury to go on. The Apollo Triage just went up to this price point, so folks might have that around. And the Vanguard Warden, unless you have it, but this does not do war bond deals very often. So historic-wise, not a great contender. Guardian QI, the only war bond was with its release, so again, there's no history there. But yeah, Meteor or MSR both have relatively decent prospects. So I was very happy to see that show up today. I was so hoping to see it during Invictus. It never showed. So feel much better now. How's that? That frame not set properly. All right. Let's see. What else are we on about? Drops campaign is carrying on as usual again to the end of the IAE. They are 4.5 just hit Evo earlier today, so that'll be interesting to see. If you don't have a account, remember to use my code available, or you can just go to purpletarget.tv/SC50K and it will pre-fill your code in order to make a new account. And we are doing a giveaway, purpletarget.tv. It's down at the bottom of the page, or you can do /giveaway2955 and it'll take you straight to the Gleam page for it. We're giving away a IAE 2955 Salvager starter pack, which includes the Salvation lifetime insurance on it and a smattering of other things. Access the game, good to go. I actually really like this package. I'm kind of glad it wasn't around when I joined, because I would have probably gone with this one. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I spent a lot of time to eventually looking into it to eventually settle on the Aurora and upgrade it to an LN. Speaking of which, Aurora Mark II confirmed for sometime in the first half of next year. So not only are we getting the Gold Pass rework for the Aurora, but they're bringing us Mark II, and it'll be very exciting to see what happens with that. Although I'm not sure we're gonna get. And I'm a little divided about whether or not we want to see the Aurora Dragonfly version. They alluded to this during SCL yesterday, but then said something about ramps. Anyway, so this is like a fan art piece that was brought up like a long time ago of what they think the Aurora should look like. So I have no idea if they're gonna go anywhere near that. And here's the reason I'm a little bit divided on it.
I think I got killed, but not quite. Can't eject, can't open the cockpit. And I'm staring at my cockpitless fighter. Gah, smiley face.
Rip for ripcord, I guess. Yeah, maybe it just hasn't registered that you're dead yet. But if there's no cockpit, it's kind of hard to open it. Anyway, so this looks cool AF. Here's the issue. One of the issues the Scorpius has is it makes for a large target because the wings are all spread out. And then the wings get damaged and the whole thing falls apart. And especially if they put any maneuvering thrusters on the ends of the wings, you end up with a lot of control authority that ends up being messed up. So I don't know if they're gonna go with this, but it would end up increasing the Aurora's profile dramatically. So I'm curious to see how this will work out with the if they ended up pursuing this for a Mark II. They didn't. They said they didn't say they would. They said they're definitely looking at putting in ramps instead of stairs for this. So that's what they actually were talking about. But CIG, rule of cool, right? So. All right, where did we the other stuff from the SCL was also maybe I will go ahead and run through it at some point. I should do it as a live show and you guys can yammer in there too and step on everything that they're saying. So the 4 LTIs down there. Clipper and Shiv up around the 150 mark. The SRV was yesterday. The Vulture a while before that. SRV yesterday? It was on Argo Day anyway. The Terrapin Medic, the Meteor going down to the Steel, and then it's only a small gap to the Medic. The Guardian linked up with the Meteor.
Our comments are perfectly timed to not step on anyone's words but yours.
Right.
Tongue sticking out.
And yeah, the Eclipse, the discount isn't technically as steep, but it also goes down to the MSR piece. So when the Caterpillars go on Warbond once in a while, they actually lined up beautifully with the Guardian MX. But the Geminis, when they go on, line up really nicely with the Eclipse. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Paladin went right to the Stinger to Sentinel to Meteor or MSR. Anyway, there's definitely some options to play with there, depending on what it is that you're doing with the chain, what you got to work with, and where you're trying to go. Alright, let's go get in the game, I guess. I'm gonna assume that Lance has found a somewhat decent server. That reminds me, gotta go and go back into the recording from the last Talking Shop broadcast from Teach's Ship Shop in Nick's there. There's a sound clip that I'm gonna have to add to the bot here.
That was a trippy experience. Smiley face.
It was kind of funny, wasn't it? Alright, as usual, turn off the eye cancer. Bother getting dressed. Yeah. Hello? Alright, we're off to a great start here. What the hell are you doing there? That's the dumbest. Sorry, my mouse is confused. For some reason, it thinks it's supposed to be doing Cyberpunk. We definitely do not want to be doing Cyberpunk. Well, not that we don't want to do Cyberpunk, but that is not the game we're playing right now. Oh, for fudge pop's sake. Alright, hold on a minute. Alright, I think we're working now. I don't know what is going on. For some reason my system decided that it needed to, or my mouse decided that it wanted to run off of an alt profile for Cyberpunk, which makes no sense whatsoever. So that's not what we're playing today. Let's go black shirt, white hat. All right.
You're getting punked. Cyberpunked, tongue sticking out.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. I'm not sure why it usually doesn't do this. It's like, I don't know, it must be something in the Logitech software that's messed up.
Echo said, Punky Boops.
Echo! How are you doing, buddy? Great to see you. Where are they? Where are they?
Hype wave.
Boop. There we go. Oops and butts for Echo. How's it going? Have you been able to jump in
Lance
on the
said, Hi-oh,
expo
Echo.
at all?
Echo said, /o/.
More importantly, have you attached?
FFLUL.
Have you tied in your Twitch account to get the drops?
You funny.
Well, you know, hope springs eternal there, dude. One of these things where if you ever did have the time, and you know, we've been doing submissions and stuff like that. It would be excellent to get you on board to roll. You're aware of the drops campaign, though, right?
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Don't see a big.
Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
Don't see a big javelin up there, so.
I wish. I don't trust my comp to run it lately. I have concerns about it.
No. Explain.
You didn't know about the drops. Okay, well, let's fix that. Yeah, because if you haven't been in Star Citizen in a while, there's some cool stuff going on.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to descend. The shuttle is approaching the station. Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
OMG 4 hours for an armor set.
Yeah, 4 hours for an armor set.
All major platforms.
It looks kind of cool. Glad you found it. I'm
Damn SC likes itself.
Private shuttle service. Have a pleasant stay. Last call.
Oh, I mean, at least they're not doing like
Lance
a
said,
helmet.
long story short, if you link your Twitch account to the Star Citizen 1 and watch a Drops Enable stream. Yeah,
Like this
smiley
one.
face.
The next shuttle is
Where was? I kind
Echo
of glossed
said,
over it at
yeah,
the
that's
beginning.
true.
Because of course the comms for it is way in the back. There we go. So yeah, Twitch armor set. Link up your Twitch account. The instructions are actually at the bottom of the post there about it. It's one of the comm links where you just with the RSI account, you link it in your dashboard to Twitch while you're logged in. Watch
Give
4
shifty
hours.
eyes a chest piece, pants, and shoes from some other game they don't even play.
You've played this at least once. Come on. That, and of course, as soon as the IAE ends on the 3rd, well, not quite, there'll probably be about a week's pause or so, and then we'll go into the 10 Days of Christmas or whatever. It's the Luminalia event. And that's see, at least this one doesn't need, you don't need to run the game in order to get this. You just have to show up on a Twitch stream like this with drops enabled, and you'll get the armor for free for just watching. And then the Luminalia one as well. All you got to do, it's like an advent calendar. You just show up on the website and collect each daily item.
No. I'm meaning pieces from Book, who has been playing Enshrouded lately.
Book? Like bookcase book? Or
Yes, bookcase book.
okay. As long as I know which book we're talking about. Sorry. So yeah, there's
If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
there's the armor for that. There's a referral bonus which won't apply to you, Echo, but there other folks who've used a referral code to get into the game. They get a Star Kitten. The new recruit will get a Star Kitten racing gear pack if they back the game right now before the end of IAE, and then the referring player gets a Star Kitten Dragonfly. These have been like not available for a long time, so some folks hate them and some folks are really keen on it. And then 4.4 dropped while you were away, so we
Ha
now
ha ha ha
have
ha ha.
we now have the Nick system is in, or
So much pink.
at least the beginnings of it. When I started, or a little while after I started, they brought in Levski and Nix. They temporarily put
Ooh.
Delamar into the Stanton system while they built it, because this is actually needed, I guess, for Squadron. And then in 2021 they teleported it out of Stanton because they built what they needed to for the main station there, Levski. They moved it out of Stanton so that it would return on Nyx, so we finally got Nyx. So there's a temporary jump point from Stanton to Nyx and the permanent one from Pyro to Nyx. And there's Delamar, the Glacium Ring, and Levski. Delamar's an actual asteroid now with an actual borehole that goes right through the asteroid. Yeah, it's a really neat place, and we will be going back there. There's some new missions that are being put in there, but we're trying to finish up the Onyx stuff, which is kind of the precursor missions to this. So the Grand Barter is up. Teach's ship shop has been renovated a bit. It's looking a lot better. It's got a lot more room and stuff in it. That was our first place to buy ships inside the game. And so yeah, that was the new excitement. So the new patch and Nyx dropped the day before the IAE Expo started. And so I've been spending most of my time just dealing with the Expo stuff. I did a little bit of Nyx during the PTU, but other than that, we've still been Stanton bound for the most part. But that said, 4.5 went into Evocati today. So there'll be some folks that'll be making videos tomorrow talking about whatever the state the engineering gameplay is in. So we'll probably get that in a couple weeks. So that'll be our Christmas patch, and that'll bring engineering to the game, where all these components and whatnot that we swap out can actually get damaged in the ship, and we have to do might have to do in situ repairs to keep your power plant going, or get your shields back up, or be able to repair your hyperdrive or quantum drive, I should say. And have to take care of firefighting and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. All right, where did we put Aegis? They're in one of these halls here. Yeah, so today and tomorrow is Aegis, right? So tomorrow starts the best in shows, so the 4 finalists, which is the Polaris, the Asgard. The Polaris was the winner, and the 3 runners up from the semifinals was Asgard, Zeus ES, and the Gladiator. So they'll all get best in show paints, and we'll see what that looks like tomorrow. And if you have them in your hangar at the end of December 3rd, then you'll get those paints for free. So I want to see what they actually have set up for tomorrow. If you're really rude NPCs, I tell you, just come along and push you out of the way while you're busy looking at things. Looks like Aegis is over in Hall 2.
And then squat to look at the thing. ECOFLULO this game.
I know, right? I mean, I give it a hard time, but it's mostly teasing. It's it is in development after all. It goes with the territory. So yeah, this is kind of a look at the paints. Now, I think they're kind of hard to see what they're actually supposed to be. You can kind of tell by the hull what the kind of overall colors are for this event. So, and the problem with when they do these shots, they make them all like cinematic and pretty, but then it, you know, they're using golden hour lighting, so it's like, well, what's it actually look like? Nobody knows. We'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out tomorrow.
Yay, more space is amber.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see if the we'll see if they swap out the floor for tomorrow. They did they do that last year? I think they did
Sorry.
that last year.
A leak joke.
Stay hydrated while exploring the exhibits on display.
Okay, that would be why I don't get it. I've done the various drop campaigns for Elite, so I have a bunch of Twitch skins for ships that I have no idea.
Lance said
I
one
own
could call
Elite.
those paints a golden opportunity.
Oh God, Lance. I own the paints for Elite, or at least the Twitch ones, for a bunch of ships I don't have. For a game that I own but never played. So yeah, Paladin's a new-ish gunship. This was the last concept that they did back last year around this time. Or in January, I think. Christmas, somewhere in there. They finally released it the last patch. So it's actually still on War... right around... Yeah, Citizen... not last patch. Was it the last patch? Yeah, it was for CitizenCon. And what do they have out here for Aegis? They have the Peregrine. Saber Peregrine. Which one is this?
Echo said, eventually I'll try to fix/rebuild my comp and we can fix that.
I'll look forward to it. I mean, the upshot is, you know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 'tis the season. Not that you necessarily need to worry about it for our sake, but, you know, you got to do your proper priorities. But certainly you make sure to let me know. And we'll definitely get you in there.
Yeah, I don't have the money Zarin for that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We were rolling in the new Onyx missions lately, and we were having a lot of fun with that. I think we'll be doing those quite a bit more. So, all right, let's go over here, and we'll set up the camera for decent view, I guess. Except that you have to look at me, so that's no fun. Alright. That'll be decent. We'll run an intermission. I'll be right back. All right. What are we talking about? Yeah, Star Citizen's definitely been getting to a point where a lot of the some of the missions and the party work is actually going pretty well. We're having a lot of fun with it, so. And if SCL is any indication, a lot of my predictions from CitizenCon about what we'd be seeing in 2026 seem to be coming true. And I'll have to go into more of that. I don't know. If I get bored, maybe we'll do that later tonight. Either that or a fleet review if we're lucky. LifeMile said he had some questions about fleets and CCUs and stuff, so I'm kind of hoping he might drop in and we can do that live. If not, I don't know, I'll make something up. All right, what does the Peregrine do? Fans of the Saber Raven were able to accomplish with the fighter on a racetrack. The design team at Aegis were inspired to craft an official racing variant for the agile ship, Peregrine. Streamlined, featuring extra thruster boost, this nimble bird ready to fly across the finish line. Ignite envy and others with the Saber Firebreak livery, featuring vibrant red highlights against the black base paint. All right. So racing version. No wonder I didn't know what it was. It's not really a game loop I do a lot with, so and of course it's not the only one. I think the Peregrine's also in the various other Saber
/o/racing.
The various other Saber variants are also available through Wicklow, I think, or at least some of them. And hopefully while they're doing the mission refactor, they'll get the racing missions back into the game. That might be that'll definitely be good for the folks who do get a kick out of racing. Oh, and speaking of races, I think we can expect in the new year, sometime right after New Year's or on New Year's or the day after New Year's, whenever there's the Daymar Rally. I think they're doing signups soon, or maybe they did them already. Maybe I'm misremembering everything. Oh, it must be at the beginning of the Red Festival. Yeah, so Daymar Rally. So the Red Festival lines up with like Chinese New Year, I guess. And this is supposed to be like the dirtiest race in the verse. 510 kilometers across the wilderness of Daymar. Buggy, truck, or bike. Vehicle weapons allowed outside of all armistice zone. One team member must enter the outpost to see official qualify and continue. Yada yada yada. Yeah, it's like halfway across the moon, so It's quite the event, and of course it's live streamed by various folks.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure when the cutoff for signups are. But yeah, so sixth year. Sixth year? Seventh year. This will be the seventh one. All right. Sorry, getting distracted. But yeah, if you like racing, that's a great big like 4x4 type cross country race with weapons. So the Avenger Titan, this one's sort of in the starter plus category. But this is the Avenger, so this one carries an EMP generator. Hey Faru, how are you doing? The Titan, lacking the prisoner cells of the Stalker or EMP generator, Titan's hold is free to carry cargo. Couple that with available. Oh, this is the starter. Avengers tried and true combat capabilities, and you got a light cargo hauler. Yeah, not really. It's a light fighter with some cargo, and then capable of handling itself in flight. Ironweave livery gives the Avenger a black hull with chrome highlights. I guess it does. Always hard to tell with the lighting sometimes. I don't have a flashlight because, again, I'm wearing clothes. So I think this one runs into the $60 range. I don't really like this ship, but that's just
Echo
me.
said, "Who close? Echo sip."
It's purely a aesthetic thing for me. So yeah, if you did like the Titan, you can usually upgrade it off of the starter packs, like the Mustang or the Cutter Scout, I guess. Now with the Salvation, I don't think the Salvation's in there because the Salvation I think is at the same price. Yeah, it is. So we can't pull it from LTI on this one. But this is one of the more popular ones for some reason for folks to get into off of either if they started with like a Mustang or the Cutter, Mustang, Cutter, Aurora. I'm told it has a decent weapons kit, and it can carry a little bit of cargo. But it's an older ship. I'm not sure it checks out. We'll see this in Squadron 42 as well. The Advocacy uses variants of this ship, but it's very straightforward. It's got I think it has both a cockpit exit as zero-G exit, as well as through the back. Rudimentary habs and a few boxes of cargo, or room to throw a small grab bike. personally, I like the cutter better. My issues with the Avenger, like I said, is purely aesthetic. It's just something to do with the way the front of this is set up. I don't. It reminds me of a toy ship from. It wasn't like GI Joe, I think, but it was another. It was some other ship toy or line from the 80s. So, Black Manja, how are you doing? Faru, is the giveaway working for you today? Hopefully. They're not on. I don't think they're on maintenance today. So. Yeah, not a lot of Aegis ships on display today. So.
Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Please remember to stay hydrated while exploring the exhibits on display. For your convenience, a selection of beverages and tasty snacks are available for purchase in the lobby.
Oh, and I gotta go through my highlight reel as well from a couple days ago when we were doing the Perseus. Man, there were a whole bunch of really good kills we got when we were bounty hunting with that thing.
Glad you came. It's always better exploring the show with someone else.
That's the big release for this year, for IAE anyway, was the Perseus. It came out with a bang the first day, and they also confirmed during the SCL yesterday. What day? Yeah, yesterday. That apparently we're getting the Galaxy for next IAE, so that's very exciting as well. Give me theories. But what else is coming? Oh yeah. Guess I need to go to the terminals and actually rent stuff, don't I? Was there anything we needed to get from Tumbrel? Could be really obnoxious. Oh, that's the Cyclone AA. You can buy a Storm AA somewhere along the line. Unfortunately, I forgot to get out the MDC the other day, but the A1, it'd be interesting to see whether or not it would actually take bombs. They showed it doing that, but I have concerns about how the IFF and the PDCs work, especially since it sounds like the PDCs are kind of hacked in there in terms of their behavior and not actually at the spot that they're supposed to be in terms of what's actually planned. T Martin G just subscribed, and is that over on YouTube? It was too. Welcome. No, that's not supposed to be on. There you go. How are you doing?
Oh, Paige Martin G. Thanks for hitting that follow button.
And following on Twitch too. Awesome. Welcome to the Tarkin package. All right, hoplite dropship. I'm not sure. Not quite sure how that was supposed to work. The Vanguards are kind of weird in a way. Anyway, I'm not too worried about. I'll get more of them if I need them tomorrow. What I am interested in is taking a look at the Hammerhead. And of course the Gladius is our starter hero ship in Squadron, so it's also the one that tends to get the most love and kept up to snuff for the game. The rest of them I'm not too worried about, or at least I'm not going to do them tonight. For you were asking some questions yesterday about cars and whatnot. If you wanted further illumination, I think tonight's stream should be slow enough. I can probably give that the proper attention, because the one thing about doing the Onyx facilities, you get tied up in FPS combat and you kind of end up at the mercy of the rapidly respawning NPCs. Sorry about that.
How's it going?
What am I doing here? I was just renting a couple ships to play with tonight, so. Now, I'm waiting to see if the shuttle shows up. Hopefully it's not broken. If it is, it's a good thing I set my respawn. But yeah, you'd been asking about something to do with a car or what to buy. Of course, aren't you buying everything in game anyway? You get all the things. All right. Ah, there's the shuttle. Saved by other players.
Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
Oh, are you talking about the MDC and I upgraded it to the Pisces? Yeah. Gotcha. Am I doing that on the wrong side? Well, I mean, it'll be 6 months. It'll be in the in-game stores again as well, right? So now, I mean, so is the Pisces, but yeah. Did you go the R? Must have been the R, right? The rescue version? I have one of these, and it's very, very handy because it's got the med bed in there, right? So, yeah.
Masav78 said, howdy.
Hey, Mazav. Yeah, the C8R is, with that medbed, it is a beautiful, like, solo bunker busting setup. I really enjoy it. Whenever I'm having to go down and solo around Hathor, I'll take that down there because it's small enough that it doesn't get a lot of attention. Yeah. And
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
yeah, that would definitely be a good choice.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
And of course, hopefully, I mean, if you're buying on store credit, you know, doesn't really matter. But in terms of getting the LTI token in there, the MDC is what, $45 instead of 50, and that way you get the lifetime insurance to whatever this eventually upgrades into. You know.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
I'm gonna be getting probably at least a half a dozen of these things before the end, because I need LTI tokens for other chains. But I'm waiting until the end of the sale, particularly after Best in Show. Basically, I do all my purchasing on the last day. I get the 24-hour war bonds leading into things, and then and I'm also rolling over my store credit for various stuff to get a bunch of stuff into buybacks that I can use later, so that I don't need to wait for a sale in order for my chains to complete. I can get the tokens in place in the buyback area so that they're available to me when I need them. And there'll be there's more than a few speculative ones that are available, because we know that the raft is going up, the A and B are going up, and the railing are all going up. So I'll be ending with a bunch of those on hand, because when they go up, they become instant savings stuff for other chains. And once we know where they end up, I'll be able to figure out where to place them. So. The Terra? Oh, the Terrapin. Yeah.
Masaf78 said, I have an unmeltable C8R. Probably my favorite small utility ship.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, they just did a war bond earlier. Now, whether or not we'll see it again this time, I don't know, but
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us.
so when we get to the finale, they may repeat some of the war bonds that we've seen this week. My suspicion, and frankly hope, is that the Meteor will be one of those, which is why all of my eclipses today went to the Meteor. But I have a whole bunch of other chains that are already dependent on the MSR, so I don't want to double up those ones as well. No Javelin Tour. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, I should probably go properly attired for this occasion. Oh, really weird Z fighting bugs there.
Wasav78 said, thoughts on the new Forge?
The Forge was an interesting one. I was, I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, I'll get dressed up in sperm suit. So the Consolidated Outlands Forge, if that's what they end up sticking with, makes a lot of sense in terms of progressing work towards the Pioneer, and I can see why they didn't have it. And their explanation as to why it's not in also makes sense. Man, there are some definite hangar instancing issues on this server. I'm considering whether or not I should stay here. The Clipper being released in IAE tells me that they were planning on crafting being in by now. And it's still close enough that putting it into the Clipper isn't going to be an arduous wait for folks who end up buying it. And it has other functionality as well other than the crafting station, right? So it's not just a crafter. So the Forge, especially because they added in the ground extraction, when that releases, it needs not only the I think they said it might refine as well. Well, if we go back over the video later, we'll see. At the very least, because it is a crafting ship, I think it's got a refiner capability as well. So the refining has to be in. Pretty sure, and it
Forge
also
was gonna have ground extractors and refinery.
Yeah, I was trying to remember about the refinery, but yeah, it makes sense that the refinery. For the ground extractors, though, they need. I'm pretty sure they need to have Genesis / Planetech V5 in, because V5 or part of the V5 Genesis tech is part of the stuff with Genesis is that it's supposed to spawn all the ground deposits that you would then use for something like the Forge or anything with the ground extractors to be able to pull product from it. Team Martin G, how's it going? Yeah, this hangar is aft. I'm debating whether or not to stay here or jump servers. Yeah, I'll probably be fine. Probably. Well, there's certainly not much point in doing a wide review on the Gladius. Yeah, we're phasing through ghost ships in our hangar. This hangar's haunted! Alright.
Lance said, Horizon is like that unfortunately. That was why I had to yeet to station the other day, smiley face.
Nope, sorry. No, we have bigger problems. Remember I was having issues with my mouse earlier? Apparently I forgot to plug in my foot pedals too, so... Alright, we're gonna have to quickly restart the client here. Sorry about the delay. Yeah, I think the Forge will be interesting, but it's gonna need we're gonna need to see them,
what a way to go, laughing face.
Do enough of the changes to Genesis to get the ground.
Gotta backpedal, huh?
That probably also means scanning needs to be in for it as well. So. And now we gotta do another train ride. Whatever. Don't mind me. We're just gonna... Yeah, fix here in a second.
It's funny how even in the future, saber rattling is still a thing. I mean, you know she needs repairs at least. Tongue sticking out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, while we're at it, I'm also going to go to a different server. Because who needs that noise? Yeah, for those who don't know, Lance is running around testing out the saber. Was that something that we were going to have to run either Wicklow or the exec hangars for? I don't think the saber's in the exec hangars. The S7A is, though. I really like I like the PIM F7.
Nah, standard saber is widely available.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just expensive when you're not Red Monster. Tongue sticking out.
Yeah. I mean, if I can always throw you a portion of the stuff that... Who was it? Was it Massive or Manja that gave like 50 million credits? Like, and I apologized for whoever did send it because my memory is like a sieve these days. So. All right, let's try this again. By the time I get out to my first bounty, it'll be time to do another commercial break.
Echo said, just adding ads.
I mean, it's mostly that I try to time them for when I'm not doing things. So that way you guys don't miss any of the action. Or me ranting. Or maybe I should do them.
Also, water ads. Cap infinite.
Lance said, they do add up, don't they? Tongue sticking out.
Okay. Echo, I'm not sure I can approve of you encouraging Lance.
Echo said, Echo well.
I have to try occasionally.
Yes, it's very occasional. When they're, speaking of occasionally trying, when are you going to be streaming again?
If this is your stop, please prepare.
It's probably, I just left my stream. You haven't been there in months. I'm sorry.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. Enjoying the view? Our recently redesigned Crusader Industries shuttle.
Shush you.
Expanded vista opportunities with their signature crystal canopies.
Well, I mean, I could do a full-blown, shout out, but you gave me shit last time I did that.
I don't even wanna look. Big sad.
Oh, and how long it's been? I mean, I've done that sometimes. Usually when I look at my Steam list and it tells me when the last time I played a game was. And it's like, oh, it's been like 5 years since I played a certain game, and that I used to stream quite frequently. Maybe I should apologize for never finishing anything.
Retrieval system. Vehicle selected. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit.
As for example, by the time I get back into Satisfactory, where I just finally started getting a couple factories done after the Fixmas special period, it's almost Fixmas again. It's like,
Nodders.
one of these ones that we get to learn to know and love, because we'll be flying it a lot in Squadron against the Vandal. Actually, that might have been something I should have done today. Took this to the next system and did some of the anti-Vandal combat to see how it does. But there's also a whole mode of that in Arena Commander. Are you effing kidding me? Okay. I was worried that I was had a control joystick problem.
LifeMile said, what happened?
Sorry, I thought my stick was broken again, but it apparently was just an engine problem. Whoops. Well, this was a short trip.
LifeMile said, LOL. Echo said, ECOFLUL.
I knew I probably should have looked where I was going a little bit, but... Alright, well...
Okay, looks like we have a space for you.
Good, because...
LifeMile said, dude, I was impressed.
Yeah, so was I for a very short while. I don't even know which way's up anymore. Come on, where's my hangar?
Orson Landing. Oh, hello. I still have your space assignment.
Echo said, you know I'm the only one who can pull that off. ECOFLUL.
I'm glad you still have my space, but where's the marker for it, dude?
LifeMile said, can you ping?
Well, I can ping, but I don't know where you put my hangar. Okay, I'm only missing part of a wing, so... I still got both guns, and I'm only missing a missile, so yeah. EBCAC error.
Hi, Orson Landing Services again. I'm afraid I've had to cancel your assigned spot to make room for other customers. Please feel free to contact me again should you require another. Thank you. Oh, it's you again. You're all squared away, so please proceed to your assigned space. Hope you have a wonderful visit.
Nope. All right. It's good.
Echo said, you were wanting to leave anyway.
I mean, I was. But yeah. Do moderate risk. When Mind Warp 3D, awesome observation. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to scrape it off on a Orson platform, but you know, engineering's not in. I mean, theoretically, I could paint part of the wing back on, but I didn't bring my multi-tool for that, so figure we'll go ahead. They wouldn't give me a hanger to get back in there. Just wait till Maelstrom comes and the ships really start breaking apart. How are you doing, Atomic Wrath? Alright. And we're up against a gladiator. I think that's what I saw there. I'm just gonna quickly... Oh, there's not much to do with the power management, is there? Alright. I'm gonna at least reduce my coolers a little. And the coolers don't do anything in this patch. It'll be interesting to see how they're looking in engineering for the... I'm hoping they don't set it up so that we have to alright, let's pull aggro on the Avenger. One away. Hey, Atomic Wrath. Traded a black for a clipper. I'd be hard pressed to do that. I'm really digging the clipper, and I'm definitely getting one. I'm not sure I would give up my. Well, I mean, I'm not giving up my black for anything, so. I just waste out all my shields. I did too. Alright. That was annoying there, dude. We're gonna have to sort you out. I'm thinking that this thing is more dangerous than the it is a gladiator. We're gonna go full bore on him. maybe it was a Gladiator and Gladius combination. That was supposed to be the thing. All right, there he is. All right, let's go back, turn our attention back to the Avenger. Where is he? That's very true. Well, the Clipper, I mean, as an all-around generalist ship, it definitely has some more potential that in some ways than the... Did this thing kill itself? Like, what the heck? He was showing up fine, so... And yeah, the black is available in game. In fact, upgraded versions of the black. I almost might be tempted to grab either a Pyam version or a Wicklow version eventually. But my black's also best in show, 29.49, so I'm never getting rid of it. But I'm also stupid, where I put out way too money during these events and actually get 0 ships sometimes. I just get a lot of little pieces for a lot of ships that eventually might turn into...
Lance said, fracked up paint job and all. But she's yours.
Yeah, I'm a little salty about them not fixing the paint job, and I'm hoping they will eventually sort that out. Well, I bet you're glad about that in a way. So I'm loving the Shiv too. It was an insta buy for me, but at least for the moment, she handles beautifully. She's gunned beautifully, especially given some of the things that they did to the poor Corsair and whatnot. And I know Sienna is a little salty about the handling on the Stinger. But the one issue that the Shiv does have at the moment is a bit of a glass cannon problem. Now, that is kind of the way it should be. But relative to the black, you know, I think the black maintains a certain amount of durability that the Shiv doesn't. Now, all this is balanced stuff that's all in flux anyway, so it's not like it won't possibly change up anyway, so whatever. What am I looking for? Another contract? I used up about 60% of my ballistic ammo there and one of my missiles, so I think maybe we'll do a quick run back to Seraphim.
Echo said, and your wing.
And my wing, actually. Ooh. Let's go to Grimhex, because we're right here. And it'll give us, speaking of the Shiv,
ECOFLUL,
an excellent opportunity.
Life Miles said, all right, Purple.
To
Should
check
I pick
out
up the MDC? Or the Salvation?
All right. Yeah, we're going to detour here. Well, that's kind of why I'm figuring I'll go into Grimhex, because it's actually the closer place to repair. And it gives us an excuse to pop into Gray's showroom, because Gray has set up in one of the hangars here where he has the Shiv on display, because of course he's not legitimate enough to be at the IAE show floor. Now, I don't know if it's just IAE or that's just where he's going to be set up. semi-permanently until Odin gets into the game post 1.0, because I think that's more where the whole shipjacking outfit is supposed to be based. God, I haven't been to Grimhex in a minute either. Now, do we have actual pads, or is it all... That looks like the commons area.
Lance said, as destinations go, that sounds pretty grim.
Gaw ads.
Oh, is there ads? All right.
Echo said, since when is grim pretty?
Purple said, at Life Mile depends on what your objective is with it.
Lifemile said, at Echo Falcon to get the LTI token and have it for a larger ship upgrade in the future.
Well, that was accidental.
Echo said, Ekaflul. Total Echo move right there. Ekoff GG.
All right. Got the repair done. The commercial kind of jumped up on me. I did say that we were going to end up with that hitting a little too soon, but and there's Gray's Market. Handcrafted for pilots who live and die by the throttle. Nice. Oh, they even got some prospective customers wandering around in here. They even have the rental spots for it for the IAE. Okay, so I guess we'll see after this. I'm glad we came down here because I don't know if he's going to stay here once IAE is done. But yeah, love that Shiv. All right. That's like the worst placement ever. There. Not that me in the sperm suit is especially flattering, but whatever. All right, so Life Mile, let's talk about your LTI question. You want to know if you want to do the Salvation or the MDC for an LTI token. And the answer is still, it depends on what you want to do with it. Now, you said just have it for a larger ship upgrade in the future. Then you either go for overall savings or optionality. What I mean by that. If we take a look here, I've got the MDC. So both the MDC and the Salvation, there's a $10 difference, but they're both $5 off, right? So that same $5 represents a 10% discount for the MDC. So percentage-wise, you're further ahead than the 8% that you get for the Salvation at 60. Now, for the optionality, the MDC at $50 means that if you're going to use this to upgrade into a larger ship, but a not much larger ship, you can get into a $55 or $60 ship, and it will, which is something that you can't do for the Salvation. Now, maybe that ship in question isn't there yet. Although if it's not then there yet, you might as well just buy it, that whatever that ship is, outright as a LTI token itself. So anyway, the problems that you have is under $100. War bonds are kind of few and far between. And they're only about, $5 a piece or whatever. So you have to wait a long time to sort of get them. So if I looked further, yeah, so last year there was a couple Hawks and a couple Spartans that came up for $5 each. I don't think the Gladius has gone on sale much, but there was a black sale for $10 off back in January last year, or this year. So they do occasionally happen in that $100 to $70 range, but you pretty much won't see anything under $70. You're just getting whatever savings you can there, right? For the war bond of the token itself. Now the other option or the other bonus of doing something like
Livemile said, strictly just looking to keep the LTI.
Yeah. Usually people try to get the LTIs as cheap as possible, right? So the $45 would be less than the Salvation because although it's more a quantity issue in that with $45 you're tying up less money in an LTI token, because once you get an LTI token you never want to melt it. Well, no, that's not true. You can melt it, but you lose your savings. You'll keep the LTI, but if you melt it and buy it back later, you're going to be buying it back at the full $50 instead of $45. So if there is a war bond savings to be had, you're better to keep that in your hangar and not melt it. It's great to hear, Atomic Wrath. Hopefully, good luck to you. Best of
Lifemile said,
wishes there.
so I would use the token on a ship I want to use the LTI on.
If you want LTI, yes, you would start with this. You would use this LTI token, the MDC or the Salvation. If you're just looking to conserve money, then you go with the MDC, because basically you could get, by the time you get to two salvations at 110, MDC is only 90, so somewhere in 4 to 5 MDCs, you only get 4 salvations.
Endgame would be a BMM or Carrack.
A new Merchantman or a Carrack. Hopefully you picked up the war bonds earlier today or this week. Because the BMM was on sale, $50 off for $25. Now, may see that, but although you can't, now I think about it, you can't actually get down to a Carrack with that. But you either go to I wouldn't do the Liberator. And actually, now hearing that the Galaxy's coming out, the Arastra might be just as risky as the Liberator in terms of when these two might come out in the next year to year and a half. So we've heard no news on the Arastra, but there's good evidence that the blockers for the Arastra are going away and that they're still doing some RSI ships. And we know that the Liberator just went into production, so, and both of them are going to jump in price whenever they do release. The Merchantman is not coming out this year though, so there will be other opportunities to get at the Merchantman if you haven't done it already. With the War Bond for the Merchantman, you were able to save $50 there. The Prowler to 600i was another $30 save there for $5. Either the Guardian MX to Meteor earlier this week or the Eclipse that's still on today are options, although a Paladin down to the Stinger Vanguard Sentinel will save you $50, which is better than and still leaves you open for the Meteor 20. So what's that? $50, $80, $130, $150, $170 saved with the Terrapin Medic. Yeah, a lot of people are waiting for the MR. 15 Vulture down to Prospector, either the Clipper or the Shiv. Like there was a lot of money to be saved this week, and some of them are still there, right? Although I wouldn't worry if you're going that route. You'll save more with the Stinger and the Paladin. Anyway. It depends on what you have available, but all these war bonds will save you money. So where the BMM, for example, comes in at $650 right now, if you were able to get your hands on these 24-hour war bonds that have been going on, you'd only be paying about $500 to $550 out of pocket right now, and there's room for another probably $100 in savings as well. Now, in terms of, so the MDC gives, or it's the lowest amount of money in right now, because you only need to put $45 in, you save 10%. I've been re-examining some of my links, and I've actually been reinserting some of my old MTCs with the Aux. because the Ox is 11% off. You get the $10, and it gets into the area where you're less likely to see any war bond savings in this area, under 100, right? The L22 was almost tempting, but I have some faith. But I also have a bunch of things that depend on the Cutlass Black and some other C1 stuff. So, so the L22 isn't out of the question either. It's actually got the best overall savings there, but it assumes that you're not going to get another war bond in the sort of Cutlass Black or whatnot before you get to it. Now, you got at least 2 years, right? Good chance the Cutty Black goes on war bond. The Storm AA might as well. That's one of the ones that I picked up at one point. Was the Hawk in there? Yeah, Hawk or Storm AA.
Lifemile said,
so there's a few
I
places
mean
to
you
get
to
a couple.
dad me to death when that time comes. If you would be so kind.
Dad you to death? Yeah. So, yeah, if it's an issue of you only have so much money to spend right now, then
Final question.
MDC or Salvation, I would go with the MDC just because I like saving money, but you're going to end up paying that $10 again somewhere else. I would probably, if you have the capacity to, I would actually grab the Ox, if not the L22. The Ox is only if you got the time and patience, you should be able to make, if the Cutty Black goes on for $10 off, then you're only paying $10 down to the Ox, which is fine. And you're that way, by the time you get to the L22 era, you've saved $20 instead of 15, right? And then you keep your eye out for another C1. Crap, where did the C1 go to? Yeah, C1.
You mean the
Spirits.
Golem Ox?
Yeah, the Golem Ox. So the C1 Spirits, if it goes on, yeah, it'll be another $10 saved there. And that's one advantage to not using the L22, because the C1 goes on war bond quite frequently. So you go C1 down to the Black, you wait for the Black to go on war bond, so you could save $10 there and $10 for the Cutty Black. You grab one of these CCUs now. Yeah, Tom McGrath, I get you. It took me years to figure this out as well. The inclination for a lot of the CCU stuff earlier for me was, or when I first got into it, it was just to make sure that you had certain pieces available outside of sale times, by buying them and melting them back. But the war bonds allow for significant savings. So if you're willing to put your time and effort into it, it can end up saving ludicrous amounts of money. So to the point where how much am I currently looking at for my BMM? I think it's in the $400 range right now.
Lance said, "It's definitely something to learn, TBH. I am aiming for a ship I wouldn't buy outright because of those potential savings."
Yeah, $400 right now for my merchantman, and I'm pretty sure that's on another set of links where there's a bunch more money to be saved, right? Because every time you do one of these links and they're able to tie them together, you're saving between 50% or more in some cases. Never mind the appreciation of the ship, right? So Life Mile, did you grab the BMM ore bond when it was on?
Life Miles said, "No, I was away working."
You were away working? All right. It's not. Yeah, part of the problem is we don't know where the Ironclad Assault is going to end up. There's another really wackadoodle thing that you can do for the merchantman. Actually, it's it's liable to work better for you than it would for the Liberator play, because we know the Assault is coming out in we know the Assault is coming out in probably around DefenseCon or so around May. So what you might want to do is lock in an M2 to Ironclad Assault link and make sure that that's there, so that when this jumps up, say to, let's pretend it's 590, then it's only $10 to get to a Carrack and 60 to get to the merchantman. So may work out, may not. Hard to say. But the merchantman's probably not going to increase in price until they're ready to release it. So that would be one way to the Herc to the Ironclad. You wait till May.
Life Miles said, "So either way, just hold off."
Well, not necessarily hold off. I mean, you'll want to get the LTI token, right? And like I said, you might get better savings with the Ox, but I don't know what budget you're working with here. It's going right before Christmas, and I don't know how much you want to tie up. If you tie it up in your account with various war bond savings, you're not going to want to melt. You're not going to want to melt them ever. And whether or not that suits your financial situation is your choice to make, right?
Just looking for the token. So the MDC.
Yeah, if you're just looking for the token, then you're either doing the then you can get away quite nicely with just doing the MDC. Going to the Ox will cost you an extra $40, well, $35 now, but to save you $5 in the long run. So that part's up to you. And these other war bonds that are still on, like the C1 to the Shiv, Vanguard to Stinger, Stinger to Paladin, if you pick those up, that'll save you, just those three will save you $65 in the long run. and there will be basically every time there's a new ship, they're going to have a war bond with it where at least if it's over about 120, 130 bucks, there'll be a war bond with it that you can use to get links to improve your savings over time, right? So, which is why, if I got rid of my Polaris, I wouldn't get a whole lot of money back for it. Because the actual money in there is a little less or a little more than a mole. So now, Tom McCrath, you were talking about not wanting to play the game anymore. If my impetus to play the CCU game is to get the savings, because otherwise I would not own a Polaris. I never would have put out the amount of money that was involved there unless I was otherwise independently wealthy, sort of thing, right? But when I'm able to get a Polaris for 1/3 the price, I have far less of a problem with that. And I have no intention to not play the game anymore. So, in for a penny, in for a pound. I slowly got myself into the game over the course of about 3 years before I was really confident to start into buying the larger ships and whatnot. Right. It was a year before I even backed that I had my account, and then even when I backed, it was another year. It was just a basic starter package with like a $5 upgrade to an LN. And it was over a year before I finally started figuring out how to upgrade myself to a Cuddy Black with LTI tokens and stuff, right? So, now, if you don't want to play the game anymore, and you've invested a bunch of money in ships, depending on when you decide that you don't want the game anymore, who knows? There is this whole hangar thing here. Gray's Market is a play on the gray market that we have outside of the game in real life, where there are websites where folks do advertise CCU chains or ships that they sell to other players. The gray part being is that it's not exactly in the terms of service, but it's not exactly out of the terms of service, or at the very least they don't necessarily enforce it, whatever. Take your own risk with that. But if you're paying real money to ships, all you ever get with that is the ship is available to you on start day when 1.0 releases, and you will always get your ship back instead of some credit, alpha or UEC compensation for your ship being destroyed under the insurance and warranty system that they have planned out. And the insurance part of that is not set in stone. Still undetermined. Basically, LTI is only going to give you the basic level insurance where you get the ship back, not necessarily components or the inside thing. So you'd still end up having to pay for something. But you automatically get a warranty. And like I said, it's right there on game day. Before that, the only thing you get out of buying stuff with real money is it's available to you right now. Yeah, okay. All right, so you get it. Well, although it's good for me to go over for anyone who might be listening that doesn't. Yeah, the other part is that 3 to 6 month-ish exclusivity period. So once the Shiv goes off sale here, because it was released at CitizenCon, so at the end of IAE, I'm expecting the Paladin, the Stinger, and the Shiv to no longer be available in the store for real money. And it'll be probably Invictus before they, around there, before they start showing up in game or some way to acquire in game, either through Wicklow or crafting or no, not crafting. We're not going to have share crafting with that. Wicklow
Lifemile said, "Well, I am going to scoop up the MDC right now."
All right, Lifemile. Enjoy. I hope that answered your questions, though, Lifemile. It's kind of hard to reckon without sort of really knowing the overall plan. So
I think the moral is it's better to have an LTI than not.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially if you're planning on upgrading into bigger ships, right? The starter ship insurance is not going to be heartbreaking, but you don't want to take your base package, Mustang, and upgrade it into a Idris. Well, you can't. Idris, bad example. Even a merchantman, right? Because all of a sudden you're going to a capital ship with all the costs with it.
Why not LOL?
Because after your 3 months are up, then you might as well have bought it in game. I mean, you'll still get the warranty where you always get the ship back instead of the credits, but because I think the idea that they're going with is, if you didn't buy the ship for real money, you bought it in game, and you go and use it. There's some wear and tear and mileage and hours and everything else, and it gets destroyed. They don't give you the ship back necessarily. They just give you the credits to go buy a new one. Sort of like with car insurance that you have now, right? There'll be a deductible and there'll be, the wear and tear factor and whatnot. So you might only get half the value of your ship back. So then you're going to have to go and buy or craft or acquire that ship over again. However that ends up working. You're just compensated the credit value of the ship for your bank account, right? So, and whatever that base level policy is, if you have LTI on a real game or real money pledge store purchase ship, at least the base policy will be free. And any ship, no matter what the insurance policy is, they announced that last year. Any ship bought with real money in the pledge store is going to have a warranty with it, so that instead of getting the credit value back into your bank account, you just get the ship back in your hangar. Right? Similar to how we have it now. Although the claim timers are also going to be cranked up to be similar to what it would be if you crafted the ship from scratch as well. So we don't know what that's going to look like either. We just know that it's going to be a couple minutes for a starter. Could be, who knows how long they'll crank it up to by the time they get to the larger ships. So anyway. That answered all the questions. We can go take a... Oh, geez, I'm about to die to death from thirst. I don't which... I don't know what the paint is on this, but... Yeah, I love this thing. It flies so nicely. The
Success,
the sound
LOL.
design is
I'd be
amazing.
jumping in here soon.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I figure when they do the component pass for the black, all the variants, including this one, will probably get their pass done at the same time. I was really hoping that this corner would get turned into a micro crafting bench similar to the, because it's all dead space here, right? The cargo grid would come up here, so it'd be perfect to have sort of a mini vulture style crafting section where you just are able to do like pistols and fuses, you know, the really, really tiny parts that a shipjacker might need in order to get a captured ship up and running again that they might have damaged during the process of trying to capture it. I was about to say, is there a floaty in there? There is too. But yeah, the sound design on this thing is amazing. The boot up sequence is hilarious. This was. Hey Pathos, how are you doing? Yes, I do. I was actually sort of mentioning that. We were just checking out Gray's Market here. His little display in the hangar at Grimhex. Because I hadn't actually come over here during the expo yet, so it's not available. I kind of thought they were gonna put this the Shiv and Gray's Market stuff into Teaches at Levski, but in a way this is kind of like so much better because it's still an easy reach of Orson. Nice. Clipper Golem. That's the original like mining golem, right? I was kind of kicking myself for not picking that up after a while. Although it's not like I'm not going to end up with every Drake ship in the world eventually anyway. One way or another. Right, there's the hangars. God, it's been so long since I've been to Grimhex, I almost forget how it works. This is like kind of elevators they used to have at Levski. The Sulian, I'm not one for alien ships, but kind of like when the Intrepid came out, because I also didn't need another starter. The Sulian I was very, very tempted on. So I'm not going to cry when one of them shows up in my exec hangar while we're doing the gacha game to get other ships on that. Zeus ES with the MR upgrade. You still have the MR, or the, have you applied the upgrade, or is it still on the, oh God, where the hell did they put all the water? Water for miles and not a drop to drink. See, hot dog stand, great. Oh. This might be bad for me. This actually might dehydrate me. Oh, no. A little bit of hydration. Okay, good. Don't drink in Bounty. Holy crap. I've never actually done, you know. Yeah, the Surian's definitely unique, and as long as you don't mind the tail landing, it's I think it's an excellent ship actually, and I came mostly from KSP, so tail landing doesn't bother me at all. A lot of people, because everything else in the verse lands like an airplane, it seems to throw some people for a loop. I don't have any problem with tail landing because I did so much of it in KSP that it's not a big deal, right? Oh, gotcha. No, I was just wondering because anyone with the Zeus ES in their hangar by the end of IAE gets the best in show paint for it, right? But it's only for the ES, not the MR. Oh, Christ's sake! Why are you having so many issues? Alright, you gonna stay there? Okay. I think there's some sort of inventory lag or something that was causing me trouble, so. Oh yeah, it would make a pretty good stealth ship too. And I mean, 3 size 3 Panther repeaters, I think, on the base loadout. Like, as a starter ship loadout, I mean, it's definitely nothing to sneeze at, so. Yeah, no, I like the Sulian. The Golem, excellent little, as a starter mining ship, it's amazing. I really don't mind the Ox, like as a mini raft either. I mean, it's 2/3 of what the original raft was supposed to be, but it's got a actually useful cargo grid. The tractor beam needs some work because I was testing that out and it's got issues. Gotcha. What was the other ones you mentioned? Clipper and Pulse. I mean, the Pulse is a beautiful LTI token to just put in. I have a Pulse as well that I got from somebody else's giveaway, and I'm probably going to be using that to reinstigate my Aurora LN with an LTI token, because and especially because in advance of the Mark II, I'm keeping my hands on my Mark I, no matter what. And yeah, the Clipper, I'm definitely picking one of those up too. It's remember I said there was something about the Shiv's comlink where in the middle it said coming soon, transmission error, whatever. So whatever that coming soon is, I'm still waiting, and I really thought it was going to be a crafting thing, or at the very least they would reveal it while the Shiv was still on sale during IAE. And so I thought it was going to get a crafting station stealthed into it at some point. Like I said, for shipjackers to be able to, say, repair or replace a critical component that they might have broken when they were subjugating a ship that they were jacking, right? Because that's the whole thing about the Shiv, right? We'll see it in Squadron 42 with a bunch of shipjackers using it to take down other ships. So, the Clipper? I mean, fair enough. Especially if you're going higher, absolutely. Oh, and especially in the Clippers at the same price point of the Shiv too. Like the tokens exactly match. So yeah, I made that prediction at CitizenCon, and lo and behold, here we are at IAE, and we get the Clipper with a crafting table. So I was saying with the Shiv, if they forgot to put in a crafting station, it'll be the coolest idea that CIG forgot to have. But of course, CIG seemed to be like 3 steps ahead of me, because they were previewing the Clipper last year, and people were like speculating about what it was for like the entire year. And nowhere did I see anyone bringing up the fact that it might end up with a crafting bed. They're all busy getting salty about the fact that, they were working on bug fixing and not introducing new half-broken features anymore. Oh, crap. Oh, the Pulse as an LTI token? Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and that's the thing is there's very, very few LTI tokens that are cheap enough to be able to apply to those cheaper ships, which is why I was holding on to the Pulse too. It's either that or I sacrifice my RC. Ranger. Am I doing Bounty Hunter?
Bounty's all yours.
Got to work tomorrow morning at the hospital. 07's to you too there, Atomic Wrath. Thanks for coming by and chatting. Look forward to seeing you again in the future. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And we're on the cusp of an intermission again. Oh, 000. How's it going? I apologize, dude.
Lance said,
thanks for coming by.
Have a good shift, Atomic Wrath.
I need to run an intermission because Twitch is going to run ads here on me in like 2 minutes anyway. I will be back in 4-ish. So I'm not leaving because you just showed up. It's good to see you, though. 07's at you, too. We'll be right back. I wonder if I could get... the bot to read out old quotes. Like the one from that analytical engine just posted. Anyway. 000, thanks for the understanding there. Like I said, sorry to have had to run away, but I'm glad you understand the... Well, I mean, of course you understand the whole process / issue there, whatever. All right, let's go take care of this bounty. What have you been up to tonight? Were you... Yeah, no problem. I mean, saw you... always like to drop in on... other vets. So, actually, while we're at it, I'm going to assume that you know how to behave yourself. So, I'm going to make sure that you have a voice here. Just give me a second. Go. And actually, are we missing anyone else? Farah needs a voice. And Pathez is returning again as well, so I'll give a voice there. There. That way everyone will be able to hear you yelling at me about whatever, like repairing my ships. So yeah, 000, what we're up to tonight is I'm just it's Aegis Day, so I just grabbed the Gladius because I don't get to fly it very often, and we're just doing a few dogfighting bounties to see how it's handling these days. I will probably get out the Hammerhead later. Maybe. Depends on if we have time. Ooh, Gladius on Gladius, and it's not even my target. I'm merging quickly here, so... what were you doing the other night? I can't remember. Were you guys doing the new Nyx missions with the Vandula and whatnot and the Shattered Blade? I don't want any spoilers, but I was just wondering, or were you doing contested zones? I can't remember.
We were.
You were doing the Nyx stuff? Awesome. How are you finding that without, providing spoilers? I'm still running through we were doing the Onyx facilities the other night because I'm still trying to get caught up on the story. I haven't even really been able to get through all the narrative portions of Stormbreaker because between perspective,
somewhat difficult,
player raids and
I dig that
whatnot. Yeah. Somewhat difficult. Now, is it difficult in and of itself, or is it because the NPCs are ignoring their accuracy modifiers and going full-blown T1000 on us? So I'm pretty sure ASD was amped up a little more than it should be too for that reason. So
the NPCs are stupid accurate T1000.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, yeah. Come on, die already. There we go. Oh, I'm not even in running combat mode here. Jeez. Alright, now, did my target bother showing up? Oh, there he is.
And it felt like the dead rig got a buff. Like one shot.
One away. Alright. Buck we should be able to manage. Well, it's got a speed advantage, probably. Being, you know, interceptor and all. I think I have a buck loner for some reason. I can't remember why, but I do take that out from time to time too. Dead rig. It's not like the dead rig's like that kind of junker shotgun, isn't it? I don't use a lot of shotguns, so.
Lance said that wing has seen better days.
Yeah, a little bit. Not exactly showing off our best side here, am I? All right. Enough fooling around. Let's see. Do we dare do another? I'm glad the new missions are looking good though. And we need to. So we're doing a blind run. I managed to avoid any real major spoilers about the ASD Onyx facilities as far as the Shock 2 twins go.
000 said, good on you.
So we're working our way through those ones from the last couple streams, and we'll probably go back in tomorrow for them. And at this rate, I'm not sure if I have the gas to do a whole Hammerhead tour tonight. Huh. But yeah, we're trying to run the ASD Onyx facilities blind, and so like I said, we'll assuming a few folks are available for it, we'll probably take another stab at that tomorrow. And of course, it's going to be best in show, so it'll start at Orson. Yeah, if I don't think I'm going to get to the Hammerhead tonight. I'm not even sure if I have the gas to to do much of anything, so. Oh, not out of the atmosphere yet. Just on the cusp. Definitely in some parts of my ship I probably shouldn't be able to see.
LOL, more aerodynamic.
More aerodynamic, yeah. Yeah, no, can't be any drag on pieces that aren't there, right? I mean, I scraped half the wing off when I left this place, so, you know.
That should do it. Perfect. Short speed should do nicely during your time at Orson.
Yeah, 000, have you been enjoying the IAE? Been buying too many ships or maintaining self-control?
trying to maintain fiscal discipline, but failing.
Yeah, I hear that. It's so hard, especially when, you know, actually the war bond deals haven't been nearly as lucrative as last year. Thank God I got into this last year, or this heavy duty part last year anyway. But
they haven't, right?
They haven't been that great. I mean, there's been some decent ones, and the chaining together of certain ones has been possible. Unfortunately, they kind of, as usual, they're done in opposite order. So, you know, it's probably a good thing that the Meteor one came early, because yeah, when another one. Anyway, there's been, but like the Shiv and the
How do you like the Meteor?
Clipper, for example, they occupy the exact same space in terms of the value in war bond, right? So, how do I like the Meteor? The Meteor was great as a CCU war bond. And I'm hoping they repeat it during the finale, because I have, with the Eclipse today, I have a bunch of extras that will need a Meteor to link to. And I'm hoping that to see the Mercury Star Runner go on War Bond, hopefully early in the new year or sometime before Invictus anyway. Sooner the better, because I have so many chains that rely on that one. As for the ship itself, I haven't actually tried it or flown it. It's not. Let's just say
OMG, I want an MSR so bad. IDKY.
I mean, anyone who's watched Star Wars and is a fan of the Millennium Falcon wants an MSR. I mean, that's basically why it was made. Why am I going out here?
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
All right, let's go take a look at the Hammerhead. So this thing is getting a rework. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with it by the time it releases with that rework and whatever they did for the engineering piece of it. But yeah, I wasn't that keen on the MSR, but I have a lot of chains that go through it. So, but I mean, I'm very there's basically everything Drake I love. So far I love everything Grays, because it's just more Drake on steroids. And somewhere between Argo, I don't think Argo's had a fail that I'm too worried about. Oh man, I'm not getting good lighting in here at all either. Is that a shader problem, or? That won't do. Might have to delete my shaders before I load in tomorrow. This is not really looking correct for some reason. I'm not sure why. This still has one of those hover buttons. Yeah, didn't even see it. Yeah, I don't mind some of the Crusader ships, but other than my Intrepid, most of them I'll probably just end up buying in-game. Especially now that, you know, the heavy freight options are being filled in by Drake. So my inclination to fill it with Hercs keeps going down. I really didn't mind the idea of the Ions when they released, or Ares, the Ion and the Inferno. Okay, we need to talk to Nathan or whoever at CIG is in charge of labeling. I was kind of afraid of this. One of the hardest parts with this ship is trying to figure out which way is port and starboard. I thought they might have colored the hallways, but maybe not. Oh, maybe it's the whole hallway? No, all just random green. Alright, so that's forward. So we're on the starboard side of the ship. So being on the starboard, everything should be odd numbers. So, and from the inboard to the outboard, well, stem to stern, and then inboard to outboard, right? So we're assuming 1 through 4 are technically over on that side. This should, these 4 should actually be pod 5. No, sorry. This should be pod 1, pod 3, pod 5, and pod 7. And then on the other side, from the inboard, we should have, being on the port side, pod 2, pod 4, pod 6, and pod 8. Grr. Now, great to tell which way bridge is. You know what you don't need if you label things properly? Is you should be able to look at any bulkhead marker in here and know instantly what zone you're in. Like this door should have a marker so that I know what section I'm coming from, what section I'm going to. Oh, this is a blast door. This is new. This so not working yet, but maybe some of the rework stuff is already making it in. So it'll be interesting to see if this has enough of it by 4.5 to aid with engineering, because I don't think this used to be. But, you know, it's like, if you're going to put in all the numbers, especially big ones, they should actually mean something. Right? Alright, so there's another blast door there. DCO2, so this is the airlock. Probably docking collar or something or other to I don't mind abbreviations if they actually made sort of some sense. So, you know, starboard, that should be turret 1. And it could say turret 01. Right? And then over here, it should be turret 02. That way you know which turret you're going into. And the engineer will be able to figure out which one needs power or not, or fixed, or whatever. But port turret 02. And the
You're making too much sense purple.
well, I mean, I used to drive, not these things, but the wet Navy equivalent for a living. So yeah, this is one of those things that I was always particular about. One thing I loved about this ship when we got it, though, is it had the ladder, emergency ladder, for so that you didn't have to rely on the stupid lift. Oh, great. Oh. Because if the power's out, you're not going to have an elevator working, right? These things still drive me nuts because it's a bunch of animation nonsense hanging from the ceiling. Like, unless this is a major shock absorber to help the pilot out, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you know, Star System maybe, right? And yeah, they're doing the cool thing rather than what anything that makes sense in terms of in terms of damage control. So it's going to be really interesting trying to do videos for when engineering comes in, because what looks like a CO2 fire extinguisher should not be able to do all the things that they're going to make it do. Now, it's a game. It makes sense to have a suspension of disbelief because you don't use a CO2 extinguisher for cooling. It just does not have the thermal mass and conductivity to that's what water is for, and massive hoses. But you know, quite willing to let it go because it's a game and people don't need to learn how to coil hoses for the sake of a friggin' video game. All right, so if this is 4208 GNRS, does the other side at least say something different? SGNR 0824. It's the same. Well, it's a good thing it's nonsensical and doesn't actually need to mean anything. And see, this says engineering access, but is it really? See, false labels for decoration that don't actually... Now, there might be a component that's waiting to go in there. But, like, you gotta be careful about using labels or designate areas that aren't going to be useful. Ends up being a decoy while he's like, oh, there's engineering access. Maybe there's a component in there to fix. It's like, no, maybe not. No, like I said, I don't know. We'll see when engineering makes it into the game and this ship specifically. So yeah, so blast door. This is gonna, port side. Blast door number 2, starboard side blast door number 1. And then we go back here, and this would be blast door number 4, and on the port side would be blast door number 3. Just keep working your way aft. Oh yeah, there's a whole other deck. There could be the blast doors would actually make sense for sections as well. Just so, you know, very forward part of the ship might be A section, Bravo section, Charlie's. At least on, I think American USN ships number by frame, but Royal Navy, Canadian Navy, Commonwealth navies basically run the British or Royal Navy system, and so they will letter the sections from sort of A to Z, going stem to stern. So this might be Bravo or Delta section, or sorry, Charlie or Delta. And it becomes useful because, so basically on this door, you would have the number of what deck you're on. And this is the main deck, so it'll probably be one deck, which is the one that most goes, you know, forward to aft. How they decide to do it makes sense. We don't need to get too fixated on that, as long as it was consistent of, you know, top deck number 1 and count your way down, or bottom deck number 1, count your way up, either way. So it's a number, it's a section letter, and if it's door or bulkhead, you get 2 letters. So if we were standing in section C and this was section D, then this would be 1 Charlie Delta, or 1 CD. So that lets you know that you're on first deck, and this is the door between C and D. And if you know which, and if it's a it's not everybody on starboard. So if it's a starboard, this should be an odd numbered door. And that would tell you you were on the starboard side and had in which door you were at. Now, I thought, and we have seen this in some of the other, like the Aegis. I thought it was the case with this one too, but I'm wondering if either they changed it with the rework, or I'm just misremembering, and I don't have time to look through my old videos to find out. But I thought they did something to mark up the 2 different hallways here, so you could tell that you were on port or starboard. Now, they've done this with the Aegis. The only issue I have there is I think they did them wrong, where they did gold and green, but they put green on the port side, which makes no sense, and then gold on the starboard. Now, I know it's effed up with the Polaris, because they got gold on the starboard side, and then it's actually probably a medical blue, but a blue-green aqua color, so it's more green on the port side. Now, that's to line up with where the brig and the medical bays are when you're going around the hangar, but it's like, if you're going to light or color something on the port side, it should be reds, or, you know, a red line or stripe or markers or something, and then on the green on the starboard side. And same with the marker lights, like they're that way for a reason, so that you can tell, you know, which side is which. They don't need to break with convention just because they want to look cute or something. Like, I don't, it's like, they did so many things where they, you know, paid attention to realism for a bunch of stuff, and then I'm not sure what's been happening in the last year or so. You know, I mean, we see it with the Nix system, with the hand wavium that they're doing with the Nix 1 issue. I really hope they just kind of pretend that the whole terraforming thing was didn't exist, and Nix 1 can be used as a test bed and then get teleported to Castra or something after the fact. Once they've got it working for what it needs to work for. The power plant's up here. How the hell are you supposed to even move it up here? And I don't remember the vents being so low in here. But that might just be me. Well, the mess hall used to be able to suffocate to death in here. Nice big skylight window. It would be such a damage control nightmare as well, but it's a game. It's a game. It's a game. Now, all the padding around the outside, or the hallways or passageways, makes a lot of sense in a way, in order, you know, especially the rounded corners, in that if you're going to suddenly move erratically and get knocked off your feet, nice to have something padded to fall into, I guess. But you'd really got to hope that it's fire retardant as all heck, because it'd be interesting watching fire rip through there. So one of the advantages of Drake ships, where everything's all exposed, is you don't have to rip out padding in order to overhaul fire. Is it just me, or does this like you should need to wear a rad suit to be this close to the engine? Oh man, I don't know if this thing ever got PDCs. I don't think so, but outfit this thing with ballistics, and then when they get the ammo hoovering off the cargo grid like they were talking about, that pad will actually have a use. Alright, so if that's the cooling module...
Lance said, "You will never convince me that engines like that are perfectly functional. Too much smoke and sparks."
There's component access. Yeah, right. So how the hell do you get this giant-ass cooler out the door? Or the power plant? So this was one of the questions I wanted to, well, I put it into the chat, but obviously it didn't get upvoted enough to, because they put that trap door into the engine space of the Clipper, and it's not just to play hangman games with your friends. It's so that you can move larger modules into that engineering space for installation. So they say. But you have ships like this where you get, so if this is the maintenance space for the components, but you can't get the components out of here. So if they're going to do that, they either need to go through and overhaul all the hatchways and hallways so that you can move the components in and out, or they need to do something like the trapdoor, but I figure they should do soft patches. So on real ships, you have a big area, you know, the big deck plate here maybe might be a soft patch, where basically you would, in game terms, it would make sense to use the oxy cutter to basically cut out the hatch, and then probably use a tractor beam to move it out of the way, move your but it opens up a big hole in this space that otherwise wouldn't be here. You'd only want to do this during maintenance periods, right? But would allow you to move a component in or out that otherwise won't fit through that hatchway. And then when you're done, you put the soft patch back on and weld it back into place, right? And I mean, real ships, we do sometimes actually cut into them in order to take things out and put them back, and then just weld it up again afterwards. I think there was I seem to remember I think it was an American submarine refit program where they basically cut the sub in half in order to add in a new section or something like that and weld it back up again. Not unknown. But yeah, so it would basically, you know, all these, you know, whatever maintenance panels things could actually be turned, depending on where they are, into soft patches that could be cut. I mean, they demoed that with before we got Microtech, with the little oxy cutter, you know, cut the hinges off a grate or whatever and move it to the side. So you could definitely do that with basically a big section, but you know, be basically a metal plate section similar to the size of the elevator there. But you just cut it open, move it to the side. Be easy to put back. It's like any other part, you know, you get the snap into place as long as it's reasonably close. And then use the oxy cutter, you know, to either open it up or close it up. Also make a very slow way to be able to gain access to ships, which in terms of ship jacking, which everyone seems to be worried about doing, would... Anyway. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen the Hammerhead, so I wanted to refresh my memory and see where it's at.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Alright, let's get rid of that.
Storage facility. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
New visitors to Orison may sometimes find that they are experiencing a mild sense of vertigo as they acclimate to the elevation.
First class crew for Starliner TRL-13M-C, please report to Hangar R3. TRL-13M-C, crew to Hangar R3.
All right. It is getting late, so I think I'm going to call it there, actually. It's, if we do the Star Citizen Live watch party, maybe we'll do that tomorrow? Depends on what time we get started. Or we'll do Onyx. Although we'll probably start with whatever's going on Best in Show. Everything kicks over at like 8 a.m. Pacific time, so so yeah, Twitch Drops campaign continues. We're doing the giveaway, purpletarget.tv/giveaway 2955. Use a code to get an account so that you can link it to Twitch and get the armor rewards as well as any referral bonuses. You can use mine at purpletarget.tv/SC50K or any of the links down in descriptions for my channels or videos. If you use a referral, if you have a referral code but haven't backed the game yet and you do it before December 3rd, there's a Star Kitten racing gear pack available for you. I should be doing all these on the other screen, eh? Healer. Oh. Let's get the right mouse here. There's too many. Yeah, giveaway will be for the Salvation or Salvager starter pack, which has the Salvation with LTI on it. It's a groovy little ship. I did a first look video on it and actually really quite like it. You can find that on YouTube's.
000_ said, awesome.
I love the Salvation.
You know, I do too, and I'm probably I'm definitely picking one of these up. Especially since, you know, during the event it has its a limited time paint job, which is also really cool. Where is it? Items? Nope.
Anything going on with you?
Yeah, Aegis Day carries on for the rest of the day. So in the morning, it'll switch over to the Best in Show, and we'll see what comes around with that. So the Best in Show will reveal the new paints for the Asgard, the Zeus ES, the Gladiator, and the Polaris. The Polaris also gets a pennant. We'll have the option between the Best in Show and the end of the show to pledge on those Best in Show ships, those pledges will have the paints included with them. Or if it happens to be in your hangar at the end of IAE on the 3rd of December, then you will automatically have those paints applied to your account. So no new pledge necessary. And of course, we'll see what other 24-hour wall.
So you have to have the ships in your hangar prior to that date?
You have the ship has to be in your hangar prior to that date. Because basically at the whatever 2000 hours or whatever it is on the 3rd, when the event ends, this is 8 in the morning Pacific time, right? So somewhere in there. So on the 3rd, when we hit that end time, if you have the ship in the hangar, you get the paint delivered for free. And if it's melted, or if it's only a CCU, then you're going to be SOL. Now, that's why I bring up. We'll see what happens tomorrow, because when
Lance said, "Thank you for the stream, Purple. Really liking the saber. We'll be aiming to get that from New Deal eventually."
No, I'm glad it's working out for you. You're running the stealth build on that, aren't you, Lance? Or we're testing that out. Yeah, when the Best in Show starts up tomorrow, we'll see what they have, because they were saying that if you pledge for the ship during the Best in Show, there will be paints bundled with that. Now, I don't know what that looks like. That might be 10-year insurance, buy the whole ship.
The stealth version, yeah.
Get a...
I love the look of that variant.
With the paint bundled. Last year, the way it worked was the paint was attached to the CCUs as well. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if it's working the same way. They always mess around with it. So, there's the what I'm hoping is that there's basically a bunch of Warbond CCU options for these, where you get the Best in Show paint. You do have to put in fresh money, but it would allow you to CC or put stuff into your chain and have that Best in Show paint available. Pretty sure I was able to take advantage of that quite a bit last year, and it was awesome. So we'll see. But soon the marketing team has been switching up tactics, so I have no idea whether or not it's going to go like that. So yeah, tomorrow we'll see what's going on. If folks are available for it, we might look at doing more Onyx facilities. And see how far we can get with that. And then so I don't know if I'll end up doing when or if I'll be doing any reactions to the Star Citizen Live from yesterday. I just know that I'm definitely not doing it tonight. All right, did I cover everything? Probably. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. I'm out of here. Thanks all for coming by and chatting, hanging out, and whatnot. As usual, if you're on Twitch, hang out until the music stops, and we will raid over to somebody, and hopefully we'll be able to catch most of you tomorrow. Have a good one.
.000_ said, "Oh 7S."